What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bridging the Geekdoms. I am your host, Robert Slavinsky, and with me, well, I don't know where he went to, but with me in any second now will be the new head of the DCEU, Kenneth Yambo. So for those of you who aren't aware of what this show is, it's pretty simple. Normally, what we do is we talk about just some of the latest and greatest within the pop culture world. And typically our show starts off where we talk about one or two hot topics, for about 20, 25 minutes or so. And that leads us to the final, the second half of the show where we talk about a main topic. This week's main topic, I know that we're all excited to talk about, and that is planning out the 10-year plan for the DCEU. And our boy right here, like I said, the man who is in charge of the DCEU now, Kenneth Yambo. What's going on, man? How's it shaking?
Everything's shaking pretty well. I do want to say that of the most preparation I've done for this show, I think this is the most intensive I've gone through mapping out the DCEU's. Is what we have in store a little bit later on. But I'm ready to get started in a relatively news week, but I mean, we still have stuff to look forward to. Am I right?
Yeah. I think we're just going to cover one news topic today, and then we'll dive into the DCEU stuff because I know you're real excited about it. I'm excited about it. I want to hear what everything is that you're talking about because I'm letting you lead the way on this episode. I've found Colton and I have done a bunch of these where we'll sit there and say, "Oh, what's going to happen with Marvel? What's going to happen here?" And because we don't we do this on our own, when we try to put it together, it never matches, and then it's just a jumbled mess. So I said, you know what? I'm going to let Ken take the reins here with the main topic, and I'll just play off of what he says. So I'm looking forward to doing that here momentarily, but let's get into our first hot topic and really only hot topic of the day. And that's going to be what to expect at D23, which is coming up this week. I tell you what, I'm kind of excited about this week because this week is chock full of fun events for me. We got an Apple event on Wednesday, which is exciting. You're going to unveil the new iPhone and Apple Watch and probably a bunch of other stuff. We got Disney Plus Day on Thursday. We got D23 starting on Friday, I believe. So this is kind of an exciting week, but let's talk about D23 because I think a lot of people are expecting a good bit to come out of here. As you can see, Screen Rant has an article up that they just posted the other day. Avatar stuff, Indiana Jones, Disney, Marvel. But what are the big things that you think we're going to see at D23?
Well, I mean, obviously we can harp and focus on the Marvel panel that is going to be coming towards us, and obviously a lot of casting announcements. But when you pulled this up, looking at this really quickly, almost escaped my mind that James Mangold's Indiana Jones is also coming out. So excited to hear about that. I really haven't heard much. Probably just whispers along the way, but definitely something that has invigorated my interest in the event. But obviously everything that will be announced pertaining to Marvel and the tweet that they had a couple of days ago where they had Hugh Jackman's Wolverine involved in the tweet was definitely interesting and probably a indication of where things will be going in terms of what they'll be announcing over there. But what are your expectations? I know that a lot of it's going to be Marvel focused, but is there any particular project that you're excited to hear from that isn't Marvel?
Oh, Indiana Jones, hands down.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a teaser trailer.
I hope.
I think we'll see, Indy. We'll see. Just again, it'll just be a tease. It's not going to give us any story elements or anything. Just kind of an idea of the setting, the time period, and what we should be looking forward to. So I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Have been almost my entire life. Actually, pretty much my entire life. So yeah, I'm absolutely excited to see where that goes.
The last one,
unlike a lot of people, I liked it. I liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I like it better than I like Temple of Doom. I think Temple of Doom is the worst out of the bunch. But yeah,
I think it left a little bit to be desired, but I think getting back into the roots of maybe a more grounded story led by James Mangold, who has proven time and time and again to me that story and writing is definitely something that are strengths of his. So I'm excited to see it. Hopefully Harrison Ford's age won't show too much. But I really am excited for this project regardless, and kind of completes a nice little circle from my childhood as well of watching young Indiana Jones kind of whip it around, and then seeing him in Kingdom of Crystal Skull, and now seeing him in here would be great. Do we even have an official title for it? Or is it just Indiana Jones 5 right now?
I think it might just be Indy 5. We'll probably get the title. I mean,
which
I wouldn't
could
be surprised.
Point a lot towards the story and stuff. So I definitely
and John Williams every year does a concert at the Hollywood Bowl, and he actually just the other day was doing his concert, and he actually played some of the music from Indy 5, which is going to be his final movie that he actually works on. So that's kind of neat, you know, some things are coming, and I think it's pretty much guaranteed that we're going to get a teaser trailer, probably a title. I think that's a safe bet when it comes to D23 on things that aren't Marvel. I think that might be the most anticipated for everybody coming out of the Disney side of things.
True.
But then, yeah, I mean,
News obviously tops the list as well. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I never liked the original, but we also have Star Wars. You know, are we going to some kind of plan laid out by Kathy Kennedy on Star Wars? I think we're going to get a trailer for the man. I think we'll get the trailer that they showed at the celebration in May. I think they're going to release to the public probably on Disney Plus Day. But then come D23 just the next day or that weekend, what are we going to get? That's kind of my thing is when it comes to Star Wars, we don't know what's coming. We have, you know, the Acolyte, but I think they're not even near ready revealing anything of that. We got Ahsoka. Everything's Disney Plus. We have no films that we're really looking forward to when it comes to Star Wars. So are they going to officially announce Taika's Star Wars movie and a release date, or are they just not going to say anything and they're just going to stick to Disney Plus? I think that's probably a safer bet right now.
If I'm a betting man, I'm probably going to lean on the side of Disney Plus is really going to be its showcase, part of its showcase for the panel. But maybe next year for May 4th or something, they could have a complete entire cinematic presentation that they could upload onto Disney Plus or something. You know, being in the role of being in charge of the DCEU, it's been incumbent on me to take charge of Star Wars and Marvel as well, and I think that'd be something that'd be cool. Just having a whole entire feature presentation on their cinematic future, just kind of the way Feige does it in Comic-Con and other platforms. So I think that would be really cool. But obviously,
the next Star Wars celebration is in April of 2023 in London. So I mean, again, that's probably where we're going to see the most announcements. But I think they need to do something at D23. They need to have some kind of Star Wars presence there, because Celebration was pretty lackluster when it comes to announcements, and we're now 3 months removed from that, and we still have no general idea of what they're doing with this property theatrically. TV side, yeah, we're excited about what's coming, but regardless of what people want to try and push, Star Wars is a theatrical experience. To get the best experience for Star Wars, you need to have things coming out theatrically. And right now, I don't care about Taika Waititi, you know, his Star Wars. Rian Johnson was just up in the news, and he's saying that his story is still in development. It's just trying to figure out scheduling and time, how to make it happen. What are we going to get? When are we going to get it? You know, I want to know. I want to know what's going on when it comes to films with Star Wars.
It makes you wonder if they have backed themselves in a little bit of a corner where the fans start to see a stark difference in quality between what they've seen on Disney Plus versus what they've seen on this. Makes you wonder if Kathleen Kennedy's maybe a little hesitant to push the button on kind of figuring out their cinematic future. But as you said, to me personally, Star Wars is a cinematic experience rather than a smaller screen experience. And while some of the projects that they've done recently have obviously been acclimated as some of the best, I think missing that theatrical cinematic presence of, wow, we're about to get a Star Wars movie coming out in the next like couple years is gone right now. And part of that is on Disney. Part of that's on Disney and Lucasfilm and the way that things have gone since the acquisition of Lucasfilms. But the Rise of Skywalker didn't help anything. It kind of left everything on a sour note for everybody, and not having that real clamor to see what happens next. And if I'm them, if I'm announcing something, I'm going to the past to announce it. I'm not going to go say that we're going to continue Skywalker's saga. I think the best route for them is to probably go to the Old Republic, probably that time period, and just explore a lot of the unknown of the origins of Jedi, the origins of the Sith. And I know the Acolyte kind of delves into that a little bit. But I think just kind of delving into stuff that we haven't established, things that we don't know the backstories of, is something that they probably will lean towards, but we're going to have to wait and see, because we don't even know where Kathleen Kennedy sits on a cinematic slate.
And to be completely honest, I mean, while I am excited for more Star Wars, and I don't know if you've caught any of my recent solo videos and commentaries that I've put up, but I am seeing what's been going on in media lately, and seeing how, and whether you agree with this or not, there's a lot of agenda pushing going on. And I am kind of concerned with Star Wars in that regard, where whether they do push some sort of agenda or not, there will be this perceived notion that there is. And it's just going to divide the fandom even more again. And I mean, that's going on right now with Marvel, with She-Hulk, which again, that is something I do believe that I see something going on with, the man hating and man bashing within that show. I definitely 100% see that. But that's a different thing right there, because it is happening, but they're doing it per story. Whereas things in Star Wars, they've done it in Star Wars where it's just kind of there, but just kind of behind the main plot. And I'm just sick of seeing a divide within the fandom. And the way that everything's been going right now with TV and Star Wars, it's been kind of quiet. There hasn't been so much infighting with fans, and I kind of like that. I'm worried that if we get a movie,
if I'm wrong, but everyone, at least for the most part, from what I've just seen in the reactions on Twitter and everyone for the most part is, I don't want to say, I guess, excited for Andor, but no one's really at the hype levels that Obi-Wan was at that point, or maybe even season 2 of The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett, and
I will say I'm worried about it. I am worried about it because was it Tony Gilroy, I think, came out and he stated that this was a look on our past presidency or something like that, the way that the story is told. And they need to stop that shit. Like, they need to stop it. To me, these things are about getting away from reality, real life. I'm supposed to sit down and watch Star Wars and be taken to another universe, another galaxy, to enjoy what I'm watching and not think about what's going on or what has gone on in the real world. And I think that's a big reason why there aren't more people excited about it, because believe it or not, there are quite a few Star Wars fans and especially Star Wars people on YouTube who are more outspoken against their perceived liberal agendas. So, Star Wars perceived Star Wars liberal agendas. So they haven't been hyping up this show, and that falls in line with something like that. You're right. The show isn't being hyped. It's not. And I'm interested in seeing it, but this is much like Solo was for me. This isn't a show that I don't necessarily think needs to be made. I'm curious about it. I'm curious about seeing it, but I'm not overly excited.
Yeah, same. And the main actor even said that there's not really a lot of, if any, fan service at all, and this is really just a story about the beginning of the rebellion. So,
Yeah.
while it's intriguing to me, it's not something that I guess I remember just my level of hype for out back in May. So that's it hasn't come close to it. And yeah, I'm excited for Ahsoka, but that's another one that probably is going to be in the same hype level. Like, yeah, I'm excited to see it, but where's the like big event? You know, I think the Acolyte is something that has really intrigued me just reading the background on it, and that's something that I can get behind. Or even season 3 of The Mandalorian, just because of the backstory that we got and the continuation of the story with the latest season of Book of Boba Fett. So it's interesting. I really am curious to see what the agenda is in terms of all these properties that are being released on Disney Plus versus what's not being released or planned or even developed for the cinematic future. So hopefully things turn around in terms of the cinematic future.
Yeah.
But speaking of D23, is there any bold predictions that you might have for D23? Marvel,
I mean, when it comes
Disney,
to Marvel, because
Star
we
Wars?
didn't really touch on Marvel here. I think when it comes to Marvel,
Yeah.
we are definitely going to get some announcements that we didn't get at Comic-Con. Specifically, I think the big one is going to be official announcement that Matt Shakman is going to be directing Fantastic Four, quite
Yep.
possibly a cast for Fantastic Four as well. And I also think we're going to get some mutant information. I think we're going to get whether it's our first look at a planned film or if it's who knows at this point.
Yep.
I'm not even 100% sure in that regard, but I think that the hype from Marvel is kind of up and down right now, and for the reason I just said a couple of minutes ago. Look at She-Hulk and what that's doing to the fans. And then you go back to Comic-Con, people were on a high, and then She-Hulk brought them down. And I think they know that they need to get us back on a high again. They need to
Yep.
announce things that people are going to be excited about. And it's been 3 years now. We want mutants, and we know we're going to get it in Black Panther. And I think we're going to get a final Black Panther trailer uh, at D23 as well. But I think that besides Namor, we need to see more is happening with mutants. Yeah, Miss Marvel, there was a little tease that she could be a mutant, or she is a mutant instead of an Inhuman. But again, that's not enough. People are clamoring for Wolverine, Cyclops, Professor X, Magneto, and all them. That's what they're clamoring for. So we need to know that we're moving in that direction.
Yeah, I think I guess for just a couple of predictions, I think we'll get a first look at Secret Invasion.
Hmm.
I know that's something that was rumored right at the end of Comic-Con that they were kind of saving footage for more of the D23 and Disney Plus Day presentation. So I definitely think we'll be getting some looks into the movies that, or some of the properties that are already filming or have been filmed that we didn't get a chance to look at. I am looking straight at Ant-Man and Quantumania as probably maybe the surprise in terms of footage, maybe even a quick little glimpse of Kang in there. I think that would be something that would really get the fans excited. But I think something along the lines of just Kevin Feige confirming that, yes, we're in the multiverse saga, and the multiverse saga is going to end up in here. You already know that we have Secret Wars that kind of caps off the multiverse saga, but this next phase of movies is going to be the mutant saga. So I think that's something that would definitely get fans excited. Maybe even like an official title card for the mutant movie, or some sort of casting announcements. But I think on the more likelier side of things, we'll definitely be getting a lot more information of Ant-Man Quantumania, Secret Invasion. I think maybe even confirming the director Matt Shakman for Fantastic Four is definitely there. Hopefully they announce that John Krasinski's coming back. I read an article not too long ago that they have some huge casting announcements to announce, and some of the names on the list that I read were pretty surprising. So it's going to be a fun weekend, news-filled weekend. I'm sure I'll be typing behind my desk, getting some articles out for the culture nerds. So it's going to be an exciting weekend for sure. And my one bold
Definitely.
prediction for D23, we get an announcement that of maybe the official title of the Deadpool movie, or just its place within the larger cinematic universe for Marvel. I think that'd be my bold prediction for
I wouldn't
D23.
be I wouldn't be surprised if they gave us a release date for that. That just makes sense because I believe it's starting to film any day now. You know,
Yeah.
production starts any day, so I wouldn't be surprised about that. But I liked your prediction with Secret Invasion because that's a show that keeps eluding me. I keep forgetting that it's coming, and it's one that I am excited about. I do want to see what's coming from that. So
been described as the crossover event for most of their Disney Plus shows. So
that would be
that's
neat.
something. Yeah, that'd be nice
That-
little. That'd be that nice little, tying of the bow for some of the things that we've seen on Disney Plus, and probably gotten a little frustrated that we
But
haven't gotten
I think
media up on it.
Yeah, but I think it's a safer bet because Disney Plus Day is the 8th, which is
Yeah.
Thursday. I think we're going to get a lot of the Disney Plus stuff that day. Not saying that they're not going to regurgitate it at D23. I just think that, Secret Invasion and what did I say? Star Wars stuff. Yeah, I think a lot of that is going to be at D20 or
Maybe some of the
at
holiday
Disney Plus.
specials that we've been told about with Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
by night.
I really think D23, I think they're going to focus more on the film slate for the upcoming year. And I think maybe year or two, Marvel will focus on like, hey, we're going to add. Do you remember that great plan that we had through 2025? Well, we're adding to it. And here it is, something like that I could see them doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if the multiverse saga goes a little bit longer than what they originally anticipated. I know Secret Wars is slated for 2025, but with the slate looking like it's expanding, and I just think for this saga to have a little room to breathe rather than to have just hit a square in the face like it has been the past countries. I think maybe like to 2027, just kind of extend it a little bit to have a little room to breathe. But because I remember the first original Phase 3 slate that they announced, they had a bunch of different movies and different dates that ended up getting shifted a couple years. So hopefully they do that so that they don't feel a need to just rush everything, because this storyline definitely could use some breathing room for sure. But it's exciting for sure, honestly. I cannot wait to hear what they have to announce. Feige always seems to have a show to announce, always seems to have a performance ready to go for these type of things. So
It's true.
we'll be channeling my inner Feige in a couple minutes for sure. I even got the hat to wear it and everything. So
well, all right. So everybody, let us know what your expectations are for this weekend at D23. What are you expecting to see at Disney Plus Day? I hope Disney Plus Day is executed better than it was last year for sure. I wasn't a big fan of how they did it last year, but let us know in the comments what you think for D23. I'm pretty excited about it. Again, this week is exciting for me, up and down for starting Wednesday through the weekend. So I'm pretty excited. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, there's actually two things I want to talk about, DC related, so it fits going right into our main topic here. But first off, happy 30th anniversary to Batman the Animated Series, a cartoon that changed my life as a kid.
Still withstood the test of time as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's, I have
Bruce Timm and Paul Dini did a fantastic job. And I've always been, sorry to cut you off, I've always been one of the ones that have said, why don't they just bring in one or both of those guys to build the cinematic universe? But
seriously, though, that wasn't in my original plans, but now I'm thinking about amending it. So,
but then also, crap, what was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember now.
We celebrated the 30th anniversary.
Yeah. DC Fandom is officially canceled. They never announced it. Yeah, it was never announced. It was seemingly never planned for this year, but it looks like that they have confirmed that it will not be happening this year, which makes a lot of sense because Zaslav has come in and just cut.
Clean
And
house.
it's kind of like they need to get an idea and a plan together. And that's something that has just been absolutely madness to me, is how all these people think, oh, Henry Cavill's coming back and he's in their 10-year plan, and so's Ben Affleck, and so's this person, and so's this. And it's like, first off, guys, they haven't hired anybody yet. They're not going to plan out 10 years until they have somebody in charge of their DC division. So, people, you need to calm down, let the process happen. And I think it's going to be pretty cool when it does happen, but we got some time. So let's kind of get
Fandom
into it here.
Fandom last year was, for lack of a better term, very lackluster. The first Fandom that they had obviously had the Snyder Cut's first look, and then it had a first look at the Batman, and just first looks at everything that seemingly is coming out this year and next year. So they definitely had a lot to live up to last year, but obviously just with the lack of projects and the lack of just seemingly cohesiveness within the regime of Warner Bros. Or the prior regime of Warner Bros. Fandom last year kind of fell flat for me, and I'm happy that, the one thing I know that whatever's happened with Warner Bros. Over the past couple of months has definitely had some negative effects on it, but the one thing I am happy to see is that there is things being done currently, that there are things, just acknowledging that even though Fandom was announced, we're not having one this year because we need to get our personal stuff together in order to even push our projects to you guys in the future. So it's a refresher. It's definitely a fresh breath air. I feel like the old regime probably would have just given us the third Black Adam trailer and probably like a second look at Shazam, because that's what we're all clamming for right now. But I'm happy that it seems like, real decisions are being made, and, the needle has definitely been moved for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into it then. Let's talk about the next 10 years of DC. And I know that you are so excited about this. You wanted to showcase and highlight what you think should happen
Yeah.
with DC over the next 10 years. So go ahead, take it away. How would you start this, or where would you start pushing?
So I want to find, the first thing I want to do is find an identity. So, with obviously Zach put his own spin on these characters that kind of gave it a darker feel to it. So I want to keep that feel. I want to keep the darker feel to it, but obviously I want to add moments of levity to it. So we're going to start off with the first for the next couple of years. So obviously we're going to cap off this year with Black Adam. So Black Adam is coming out, I believe, in October. So, movie will be what it is. Seems like an origin story for Black Adam, not really focused on the larger picture in terms of his presence, but that all changes in the post-credit scene that I have for Black Adam, where it introduces Amanda Waller and Henry Cavill's Superman kind of discussing Black Adam and kind of hinting at the existence of Shazam, that Amanda Waller knows that Shazam is in existence in this universe. So that's kind of how I would. So you're going to start to see in my slate, I'm building to mini events, basically. So the first kind of opening salvo for that is the post-credit scene for Black Adam. And from what recent reports have kind of shown might be true, not going to really, say it's 100% true, but hopefully it is. And that's something that would definitely solidify Black Adam's position in the DCEU moving forward. So interested to hear your take just on the ending of my Black Adam.
So I don't hate it. I'm not. First off, as long as it's Henry Cavill, I am okay with it.
Not your favorite headless Superman?
No, I don't want another faceless, headless Superman. I just don't want it. But I agree. And the one thing I like, and we're going to get into it over the next really year and a half or so, which I was kind of shocked of what you did with one thing here, but we're allowing things to come out that are already planned, so or due to release. And I like how what you've done, you've kind of shifted and decided to build off of it, even though you have no idea what these stories or what these movies or shows going to be about.
I have no inside information yet. I have no inside information. I am just forming a narrative a la Marvel in a way that builds off of what we have already, and that kind of branches out into something that could be very realistic that we see within the next 10 years of their plan.
Yeah. So I do really like that. And I think I like the idea of the post-credit scene with Amanda Waller, Henry Cavill, Superman discussing Black Adam and possibly Shazam. I think it should be more just Black Adam that they discuss, because I think it needs to be like, there is a threat that reminds us of you type of thing. He flies, he's strong, and that kind of stuff. And I think it would be cool to set up that whole initiative. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Cool. So we're 1 for 1 so far. So 2022 is done. We are on to 2023, and the first movie that is up is Shazam: Fury of the Gods. So I'm going to take it for what this movie is. I'm going to leave the plot for what it is. I just want to have Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in it and have an actual presence in Wonder Woman. I don't want it to be, or in Shazam, I don't want it to be what has been rumored, which is more of like he's dreaming and then he thinks he's on a date with Wonder Woman, then he wakes up. Like, no, give me, the villains of this movie are of mythical beings, so it would make sense for Wonder Woman to pop up, kind of be the Doctor Strange of the world, and kind of have like mythical and mystical threats on her radar. So that would be a really cool way to bring her in. Obviously, I highly doubt that that's the nature that they will bring her in, but that would be my way of keeping her in the loop and kind of having people remember, like, oh yeah, she is in this universe and she's active and still superheroing in a way. So that's kind of an element that I would really like to have installed in there. And then for the post-credit scene, kind of building off of what we saw in Black Adam, we see Henry Cavill's Superman, kind of a continuation of the post-credit scene that you see in Black Adam. Confront Zachary Levi Shazam and kind of tell him, like, hey, spoke to Amanda Waller, kind of a gist of it where they talk about Black Adam and acknowledge that, listen, like, while I may be able to take him, you are made of his powers and stuff, so you might know a little more than I would. So kind of just setting the stage for something a little later on that we'll see in my slate. So that's Shazam Fury of the Gods in my universe. So I know that your take on this movie isn't of excitement, but I'm curious to hear.
No, I'm excited for it. Here's the thing. You've touched on everything that we've already heard is a possibility of happening, or just lines up with how you want to build everything, and I think it's fine. The Wonder Woman stuff that's been rumored, I don't think is as bad as what you made it out to sound here, but I will say that I would like to see her take on a larger role in the film, but it's at this point I think it's too late. I think the film is all but locked and ready to be released at this point. Now the post-credit scene, I think it would be really cool for it to be Superman coming and talking to Shazam. But what I think would be really cool is, I don't know if you ever saw, there's an animated movie that came out a number of years ago, Black Adam versus Shazam versus Superman, or whatever it's called. And the beginning of the movie is, I believe is it Clark Kent is there he's
in a restaurant?
At a restaurant with, isn't he with Billy Batson?
I do remember this. Yes, he's talking to Billy. He's talking to Billy.
Yeah. I think redo that scene.
Yeah.
For the end credits.
I agree with that. Yeah, no, and I totally agree with that.
I think that would be phenomenal. Just something like that, and where he takes him out for pancakes or something. Like something ridiculous that he does that.
Just fits within the ridiculousness of the Shazam universe that we've seen, but also kind of opens the door for a larger story to come into the universe.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that would be phenomenal. And even if it was because in my opinion, and we'll get into your stuff here soon, I think it would be great if they set up the fight in the post-credit scene. And when I say they set up the fight, that it's Superman or maybe not the Black Adam fight, but maybe a fight, but they're sitting there having their talk, and then something happens out in the city, and Clark takes off his glasses, and as he's taking off his glasses, you hear Shazam, and then they both walk out of the diner ready to fight, and then black. That'd be badass, I think.
That sounds badass, honestly, and that sounds like it sets up perfectly what we're going to be talking about a little bit later on in this slate. So that I really like that, but definitely a recreation of a scene that kind of, I guess I was focused more on the Superman Shazam part of it, but having a scene where it's Clark Kent and Billy Batson, I think, would be even more powerful. You get to see the superhuman side of Henry Cavill, and then Henry Cavill that is talking to a literal 18-year-old kid that has the powers of 6 or 7 gods. So it's kind of that's really creative, and I really like that, honestly. So we're gonna use your post-credit scene for my version of Shazam. So basically 2 for 2, it sounds like. So okay, so then next we're gonna get Peacemaker season 2. I mean, this is already something that is in development. James Gunn has confirmed that this has not been touched by Zaslav's axe. So Peacemaker 2, give it to me for what it is, but I do want the ending of it to kind of be, and you're gonna see why, but the ending of it, I kind of want Amanda to show back up and kind of tease Peacemaker coming back to the Suicide Squad. And when he asks why, she starts to show him pictures of various members of the Justice League. So this is something that is going to be setting up something a little bit bigger, but yeah, curious to hear what you think. Are you excited for Peacemaker season 2? Do you think it's something that's necessary, or is it a necessary evil to have a palette change? Interested to hear your thoughts.
I enjoyed the first season of Peacemaker. I
Okay.
did. I enjoyed it.
It took a while for me to get there, but I actually did enjoy it at the end. So
I would say though that, and I know seeing your lineup here, I don't like utilizing him for the setup for that.
okay.
I think utilizing him, them recruiting him for the Suicide Squad, I think is fine. I think that works perfectly fine, because the way you're talking is, it almost sounds like he's going to be the leader or the
Right.
pseudo
No,
leader.
we can't have
And
John Cena's Peacemaker be the leader of the Suicide Squad.
no, no, not even a little bit. But that's just
Yeah,
me.
no.
But besides that, yeah, I think that's fine if we
Yep.
can go that route. And I like Amanda Waller popping up a bunch more.
Right.
And again, we get into why soon here. But yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, no, I think her taking the quintessential Nick Fury role is something that works in this universe, because she's been there quite literally almost since the beginning, honestly, with
Yeah.
the first Suicide Squad film. So I think she fits in nicely as the connective tissue for this universe. But moving on, we got Beetle, which I don't think many people really know of or even think is still coming out. But I really am in love with the design of the character that I've seen and put in set photos. So I'm all in on this movie. I've briefly seen this character in action in their animated universe, so I really, really like the potential of the character. And for me, this movie is simple. We could provide a simple origin story, make it unique, culturally aware of the characters and the descent of the characters. But I think a post-credit scene for Teen Titans, his place in Teen Titans, would be really cool in my opinion. So
Yeah. No, I'm excited about Blue Beetle. We've talked about that. I think it's going to be a lot more fun than what people are giving any kind of credit for right now. But no, I think that is a great idea. Blue Beetle to be kind of a segue into like a Teen Titans or a Young Justice type of group. And
yeah.
you're gonna have detractors. You're gonna have people coming out and saying, "Oh, now you're just trying to they're just trying to copy Marvel and they're rushing it," type of thing. Because right now they're working towards their Young Avengers. But
Yeah.
I think if they do it properly, if it's handled
I
well,
think of both teams, though. I think the Titans are way more well known and have way more of a richer comic book lore than the Young Avengers. I could be wrong on that. I'm not really too ingrained in that, but
yeah.
interested
I
to hear
mean,
your take on that.
honestly, when it comes to comics, because I take a look at Marvel's Young Avengers and their champions and stuff like that. They've had different iterations of young heroes, and so has DC. They've done different iterations and different types of teams, and they're recognizable and noticeable to a certain degree. Titans are so recognizable because they've been really pushed animated over the last 10-15 years with multiple cartoons, and then you have the Titan show on HBO Max. Whereas these Young Avengers, they pop up in various versions of the Spider-Man cartoon, or in different areas, but they've never had their own really driving force behind it. But the problem is,
Yeah.
and it's something that a lot of people don't seem to really grasp, is that because Marvel and the MCU is doing it in live action, that is like the standard, that is the gold standard. So if you aren't doing it in live action yet, if you start to do it, you're automatically copying what Marvel is doing, and that's kind of where it's going to lead. But regardless, I think they need to not worry about what Marvel is doing and just let it
Yeah. At
flow.
this point, the cat
Happen.
out of the Marvel has the entire genre pretty much on lock. Although they have shown definitely kinks in the armor recently, but I think DC should just move ahead with its plan and not worry about whether we're copying Marvel. And kind of the first part, trying to find your identity as a universe first and foremost before delving into anything, is kind of the real job that the person, whoever it is, Dan Lin, me, whoever it is will need to take over and kind of really adapt in a way. Is what is our identity? Do we want to be dark, or do we want to have a balance? And I think that's something that is probably going to be the first thing on the itinerary of the new head of the DCEU.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
So
next
we're
up,
on to Aquaman. Yep, so we got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This movie's, I'm pretty excited for this movie. Just have it play out as normal. The post-credit scene, the ending, I would love to have Bruce and Barry show up. Kind of a segue that leads into the Flash, that establishes their relationship and their working relationship and the evolution of that working relationship. And kind of just stopping by, talking shop, just Justice League things, I guess you could say. So that's kind of how I would end Aquaman. That kind of paves the road for the Flash and kind of reintroduces Ben Affleck's Batman, where when he does show up in the Flash, it's not like oh yeah, I remember that. Like, no, this has been a continuing thread that he's Bruce is the one that brought Flash onto the team. He's brought him out of his shell, and now they're working together extremely closely, and they've almost become familial bonds. So.
and the one thing that I really hope that they kind of do differently than what Marvel has done, one of the big issues with Marvel that a lot of people have had is, for instance, let's just take a for instance here. Iron Man 3 happens. When Iron Man 3 is going on, why are none of the other heroes coming to help Tony? Why is there nobody else hunting down the Mandarin? I hope that they handle that differently with DC. Obviously, all the way up to Flash is filmed already, and rumors say they're making adjustments here and there. But I think after that, they really need to understand and say, okay, like, let's take a look at Flash, another Flash movie. Who has he been buddy with within, the Justice League and within this universe? Okay, they're going to pop up here to help him out, or he'll call them to see, hey, can you help me out or something? I want to see that happen.
That the animated universe, I feel like, something that their animated universe, I think, has really done a great job in, is having heroes pop in and out without it really detracting from the main character's story and character arc.
Exactly. But yeah, cool. I mean, having Barry and Bruce pop up and for whatever reason, I think is fine. Obviously, I don't think you need both of them. Even just one of them would be fine at this point. Just to kind of set up, I think the big thing is it's going to be setting up what you have in line anyways. I think it's something that's going to be set up already. But this next thing, though, I'm kind of shocked that you pushed it to 2024. But go ahead.
Yeah. So this is for obvious reasons. Obviously, it needs to get reworked and twinked. So the only movie that will be coming out of my DC slate would be in 2024 would be The Flash. It really gives it enough time to get what it needs to get done in terms of reshoots and just the tinkering that it seems like it needs. And it lets the universe breathe in a way. So we have a world-changing event with whatever happens in The Flash, and then the universe gets to breathe for a bit and kind of have whatever happens be layered down and have some time and build some anticipation and kind of bail out DC and Warner Bros. In a way to get their shit together in a way and kind of use this year to really announce films. Comic-Con for 2024, according to me, will be one of the better ones that we will ever get. So that's kind of what I have planned for 2024. I think The Flash and its effect on the larger universe it kind of needs the time that it needs in order to, and for it to kind of have its ramifications felt throughout the bigger universe.
So here's what I see. I'm still holding on to hope that they're actually going to push the Flash forward to February of 2023. I really think that's going to happen. I have this weird feeling about it. I could be wrong, and I probably am, but I do have this weird feeling. 2024, though, like you're alluding to here, it really has nothing. There's nothing planned for 2024, and I don't think the brand or Warner Brothers wants to take a year off. That will hurt them big time. I fully expect for something like this to happen. Dan Lin gets in there. Hopefully it's Dan Lin. Whomever gets in there. And one of the first directives for him is, we're giving you, $100 million. We're giving you $70 million, $80 million a piece for 2 movies, to be released in 2024, go. And I
Do
think
your
it would
best.
be,
Yep.
and I think it would be badass for them to do something where it's more street level, maybe building the Bat family slightly, or possibly I honestly I don't know. Because it's going to have to be a lower budget, something that isn't VFX intense, and something that they can, film and essentially put in 6 months at most post production to have it released
Okay.
then. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Okay.
I think we're going to see somebody come in there, and I don't know what it could be, but I do think that is what they should do. I think that, and that's kind of what I'm getting to, is I think that's what they need to do. I think one movie, even if they push the Flash to 2024, that isn't enough. They need at least 2, 3, preferably at least, to come out, because you're losing ground. And if you have the Flash, so Aquaman comes out Christmas, the Flash probably wouldn't come out until that summer. So there's 6 months there, then another 6 months or more until 2025. And again, looking at 2025, it's not film heavy at all that you have here.
Yeah. Yep. So
again,
speaking of that, and moving on to 2025.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yep. So I was just gonna add, you brought up 2025, and 2025 slate is more small screen focused than big screen, but it actually has some pretty interesting projects that I think some fans would love to get some updates currently on. But for the 2 smaller screen projects is the Green Lantern Corps TV show that was in development a couple years ago, and I want to set it up kind of how the premise was, an anthology series that focuses on a different iteration of the Lantern in a different time period. I think that's something that'd be really cool, and kind of just introduces the Green Lantern Corps as a whole in the entire multiverse, or just, this universe itself. And then the second project would be, finally, a J.J. Abrams produced project that focuses on John Constantine. No idea if Keanu Reeves would do it or Matt Ryan would do it, but definitely getting this section of the universe and getting J.J. Abrams to, quite frankly, I don't know, earn his contract that he signed a couple years ago with Bad Robot and Warner Bros. To kind of get some projects, feeling off of that, I think is something that would really be exciting, So I think those 2 projects are cool. And then out of nowhere, I'm announcing a Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Sirens project. Kind of reintroduces Harley Quinn and where she's been. Maybe we can get Leto's Joker in there. Definitely would set up Black Canary's TV show, and hopefully would set the stage for another Amanda Waller appearance to recruit Harley Quinn back to the Suicide Squad. So overall, 2025, what do you think?
So I think the Green Lantern stuff is great. I too want to see a Green Lantern Corps film or TV show or what have you. And I don't hate the idea of kind of going back in time a bit. I think it would be beneficial for them to kind of have 2 stories going on, one with the first Green Lantern to ever be from Earth, and one from the present, where they're kind of mirroring their story a little bit. I think would be really neat. But that's just me. But yeah, I would love to see that happen. Harley Quinn in Gotham City Sirens, I think, is great. I think that would be a good film to have in that time frame. However, I think we could. Oh, and he disappeared. But I think we could move Harley Quinn in Gotham City Sirens back to 2024. And I think 2025, we could see a new Batman-centric film of sorts. Let's see here. It's he is back on his phone, it looks like.
Sorry about
That's all right. But yeah, and then John Constantine, I really don't think J.J. Abrams is going to be around much longer to do anything. But definitely I would like to see a John Constantine show or film or something. And hello there, Story Comic. You're a new name. Hello there. Haven't seen you pop up before.
But yeah, that's I kind of wanted to introduce projects because obviously there's going to be a balance between both. I know that Zaslav has stated otherwise, but having a balance is something that would benefit them, and not having the exposure in projects, but focusing projects like John Constantine's story and then just having like a Justice League Dark sort of corner of this universe would be really clean. So I base a lot of this off of the animated universe that they just finished up with Justice League. So I think the Justice League Dark had a really great role in that universe, and I first with Justice League Dark having a great sort of crucial role would be really cool. So I've kind of introduces a couple of different things, but 2026 is really what I'm excited. 2025.
No, I'm good with 2025 as is.
So 2026 is where the big hitters start to come in. So the first movie is, so there's 2 movies and 2 shows, I guess you could say. So the 2 movies are Man of Steel sequel, and it will feature the fight that we've all been waiting for and in it as well. So I kind of have just placed it as Man of Steel versus Black Adam versus and then at the end I kind of have Black Adam being confronted by Amanda Waller actually as the leader of the current iteration of the Suicide Squad. So interested to hear your tomorrow part of everything.
So yeah, I mean, Man of Tomorrow, a sequel, a direct sequel, or a continuation of Superman's story, I think is extremely important. I think we need to get that in some form or fashion. I do like the idea of setting it up as Black Adam versus Shazam versus Superman. I think that might be a good way of doing that. Instead of using that for a Shazam 3 or a Black Adam 2, making that as the catalyst to set off and Man of Steel again, I think is a really, really cool idea. And then I do like that, maybe the post-credit is Black Adam joining the Suicide Squad or something in that regard. I think that would be really, really neat to do. So definitely, I would like to see that happen. My concern is not so much with the film itself, but how long it'll take to get there. We're looking at 4 years from now to get there. I think it's very doable that you could push this to 2025 and come out in 2025. Okay. That gives them plenty of time. If they came in and were like, let's do this now, get Henry Cavill signed, let's do this, I think it could get done and signed and a script and everything and done for release, let's say middle to late 2025.
Cool. Okay, Wonder Woman 3, and I need this movie to take place in the present day. That's for a Wonder Woman movie that moves forward with Gal Gadot, is that it takes place in the modern day. In terms of Cersei, or maybe even bringing Cheetah back to kind of redeem that. But I guess the end is going to be whoever the main villain of that movie is, to kind of be the final Suicide Squad. So basically, the point I was trying to make was have Amanda Waller villain from each character's story and kind of have it match up where you have a lineup of 7 members versus 7 or 8 Justice League members, and that kind of leads the door for what we'll see in just a second. But in terms of the smaller TV projects, I think though I have here sounds pretty cool, honestly. You have Will Smith's Deadshot coming back, Lex come back, and that kind of also could set the stage for a Suicide Squad version. So Man of Tomorrow, a Deathstroke TV show, Wonder Woman 3, Peacemaker season 3, that kind of ties the bow up on the whole Suicide Squad thing, and then is the Ram Squad versus Justice League movie that we have scheduled for 2027. So if you think about the Deathstroke project, I know that's something that fans have really been wanting with Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for a Deathstroke project, and that could be one of those ones that I was saying that back in 2024, we need a smaller, more down-to-earth type of project. That could be that right there. That could be really easily, and the amount of characters that you can introduce into that story there, because you get Deathstroke in there, and obviously you're going to want to bring Bruce into it, but what is the driving force behind bringing Bruce into this here? I'm just going off the assumption that what Zack Snyder was planning is not happening. So That post-credit
Yeah.
scene where he's going to look for Bruce Wayne is not the
Right.
case. However, hear me out here. Nightwing. What if Nightwing is involved, and Nightwing and Deathstroke? The movie starts off with Nightwing and Deathstroke, and they're having a battle, and they're just going at it. They're going at it, and Nightwing loses, and it's Batman going to save Nightwing, or something in that regard. And through it, he's utilizing his detective skills to find out what happened to Dick. Where is Dick Grayson at? Where is Nightwing at?
Yeah.
And we start to get introduced to more of the Teen Titans and other characters that are close. Batgirl, things like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool thing to do, because you're spending $70-80 million on a film like this, but most of the budget is going to go to like Ben Affleck or something, whoever the Batman is or whatever. Yep. But you're also able to have a Batman film that isn't called Batman, because right now you don't want to do that, because you have what Matt Reeves is doing, but you want to continue utilizing Batman. So make it a Deathstroke film.
Yeah, no, I think a Death introduce a whole bunch of different things. We could see the underworld in terms of assassin cross paths again with Will Smith's Deadshot and stuff like that. So I think it's something that could be really cool. A lot of characters that Zach introduced and kind of follow up with them and what they've been up to in the past couple of years. Kind of following up on the offer with Lex at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League would be cool. Is a project that has a lot of potential, and hopefully that's something that actually comes to fruition. But basically, it's an exciting year in my side. I think this is the year where you really kind of Warner Bros. Discovery kind of push their new agenda. So definitely excited for that. And then 27, we have the Justice League versus the Suicide Squad. I don't have any words for this lineups correctly, and if they build it correctly, I think this could be Suicide Squad franchise and could project the future of the Justice League. So on the product, on having this is going to take the place of what Avengers Age of Ultron. So I kind of wanted to have a middle movie where they build cohesiveness, they build around, and then boom, and then with the Suicide Squad, it's one of the few franchises we actually have. Do you dig it?
Yeah. kind of dropped out there.
Oh, sorry.
No, I think that's all right. I think the Suicide Squad versus Justice League, I think, would be kind of cool. I think that in order to have that work, though, there needs to be a reason that they're fighting each other. And I think the idea would be similar to what they're doing with that video game that's coming out. You need to make the Suicide Squad the heroes here, and which would be a big kind of shock to some people in a way, because you're going into a movie where your Justice League is there, but they're the villains. And I think we need to find a way to make that happen seamlessly. And I don't know how right now. I haven't thought about it enough, but I think that would be the best route to go. That way, that's why we're not focusing on Superman, Batman, and all them. That's why we're focusing on Harley Quinn and Peacemaker and whoever else is there. So that's kind of what I think needs to happen. But I enjoy that. I think it'd be cool to have a crossover event, within the next 5 years. It'd be cool.
Yep. And I think just with a franchise that already has a little fleshed out in terms of ones, I think that would be a cool way to kind of wrap it up with the Suicide Squad story and kind of in the original Suicide Squad. So that would be really cool to see. Just really highlights for this year as well. I wanted to do a John Stewart Green Lantern movie. That John Stewart's Green Lantern kind of gives us Sinestro in this universe, and this is where Ray Fisher can pop back up. I think this would be something that would be cool to have. I'm not too sure what the history is between Cyborg and Green Lantern in terms of buddies, but I think that would have Ray Fisher get reintegrated. And to kind of cap off the year, we focusing on Black Canary that we were introduced to in Birds of Prey. So I know that there was a project. So I think that'd be a cool outlet to introduce Green Arrow as well, Grace's version of Batgirl. So
yeah, no, I'd love to finally have Green Arrow introduced.
yeah,
I'm a fan of Green Arrow, and that's in large part thanks to what Berlanti did over on CW with that character. But yeah, I would like to see that, and I think that's a decent lineup for that year. I think the biggest thing, and it's something that we didn't really cover, which we probably should have. I think we need to have one big character a year have a film. So
okay.
every year you need to have like a Batman or a Flash or a Wonder Woman or a Superman or something like that have a film release. And I think the only year that we really missed that was 2024 or 2025 technically.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad, but yeah, I think that year works out pretty well.
Following up, we get the project that I feel like everyone has been clamoring for in 2020. Get the Under the Red Hood story that we all want. Ben Affleck's Batman, whether that would be for the big screen. I would assume for the big screen, but kind of get a follow up on that whole story that we've seen. Then we got Zatanna TV show that kind of expands the franchise, and those are the two main ones. And then you have Aquaman 3, and obviously gets sprinkled into this slate somewhere as well. But yeah, really would love a Ben series or movie. So trying to read the comment here, but it's here. How about bringing Green Arrow, Batman crossover center? Not familiar with this. Love to see Green Arrow man on the same screen at some point.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely be all for that. I would not mind seeing that at all. And that's the beauty right now of what we're doing is it's just kind of like, shooting the shit, like seeing what could stick, what could work. And, my biggest issue right now with anything when it comes to Batman related is you can't have, in my opinion, right now, you cannot have a solo Batman film because that'll confuse people with what is going on with Pattinson and Matt Reeves. We also have to remember that this idea of a Ben Affleck Batman is all well and good, but is he going to want to stick around? He's 50 years old. Like he's not going to want to continue playing forever, and this is another 5 years from now. Yeah. So those are some of the things that we have to take a look at. And personally, not that I don't want to see Affleck come back and play Batman for a long time, but I don't think that we're going to get a Batman solo film from Affleck. I think if he pops up, it's going to be as a supporting character in some form or fashion or a side character. But that's just me. I
wanted to inject a little life into the slate, so I figured that would definitely get some butts in the seats. And
no, absolutely.
I had a Justice League Dark film that would have had Black Adam as the main villain. Pretty cool for fans because I really want Black Adam to kind of live up to his corner of the universe as well. In the 10th year, I have a real Flashpoint movie, and I'm talking a Flashpoint. So give me Thomas Wayne, give me Martha Wayne's Justice, Gal Gadot.
The problem is we don't know what's going on with this Flash movie. Yeah. So while I'm all for a Flashpoint film, they're utilizing many elements of it for this upcoming film from what we're aware of, and that kind of takes away. So that's just me.
And then I really just want the Reverse Flash in this. I just really want the Reverse Flash at some point to be introduced. To cap it all off, we get Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 in 2031, and 33 you get Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, which obviously the encompasses and different iterations that we've seen. So that's my slate. Would like to kind of, what'd you think of it?
I really enjoy it, and I like the build up to Crisis. Crisis is such an important storyline, at least when it comes to solidifying what the DC universe is. It is such an important storyline, and I think while I love your plan, and it's 10 years long, and I get that, I think personally, because of things I just said, like Affleck being 50 years old, and And we need to have a solid understanding of what this universe is. And let's say they want to bring in a new Superman or a new Batman or something like that. Crisis is where you're going to do it.
Yep.
That is where you're going to merge multiple universes, multiple iterations of characters. So there's going to have to be something like that done sooner. But if we were going off of what you had, if we were to sit here and say Affleck is on board for everything, Henry Cavill's on board for everything, I am good with this. Some of the tinkering that I was saying, some of the things that I was saying, I think would be beneficial in helping. I think that we could add a few more films a couple of times, or some more projects like 2031, 2032 and stuff like that. We can definitely add some more here and there. But I think this is all absolutely doable, and it would be a way to get people excited, because it isn't focusing so much on like the Infinity Saga. There was always this, which one is about this stone, which one is about this stone, which one is about this stone, and we knew it was leading up to an Infinity Gauntlet. This isn't doing that.
I know, and I wanted to differentiate between that, and I also wanted to, like I said, you got Black Adam versus Shazam versus Superman as event 1, then you have Suicide Squad 2, and then you have obviously Crisis, which would be the end game of this universe. So it's because I did that in about 4 days with not getting paid for it. So whoever expected a better job than this, and please do the Deathstroke project.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's great, guys. And let us know what you want in the comments. I want to hear what you want. Maybe in a month or so, we'll go back and maybe we'll tweak this a little bit off of comments or what people say regarding this. And we'll kind of, we'll just build it out, and who knows, maybe they'll take it. Look, my other co-host, Colton, and I started writing an Obi-Wan Kenobi story whenever they first announced the Obi-Wan show. We started writing the story and we posted it on our website. And I think we got like 2 or 3 episodes done. And it was really bizarre because some of the aspects and things that we put in our story ended up being similar to things that were on the show.
I could imagine.
So it was really bizarre. But
I'm keeping my note where I scribbled all my notes on. So if I do see anything that pops up in official terms with Slate, I will be calling Warner Bros. To get my royalties for sure. So.
Hey, we got proof right here. It's September 5th, 2022. So we got our proof right here. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think of this whole 10-year plan. What is your 10-year plan for DC? Let us know in the comments. I know that we have something really cool coming up within the next week or so that our boy Ken here is going to be handling. Go ahead, tell him what you're doing.
So I will be officially interviewing. Well, for my first on-screen interview, I will be interviewing my Taylor Murphy. It was supposed to actually happen today after the show, but something popped up in his house for either Wednesday or Thursday. But yes, really big, really cool crossover event between the culture nerd, and I'm really excited to kind of bridge everybody together. Really excited for this. I've been working on this for months, as Rob knows, and Taylor could probably attest to. Be anything about scoops. We're just going to talk life with Taylor Murphy, get his takes on a couple. Just have a really nice flowing conversation, kind of like today was. Really
Taylor's
excited, and
really excited. He's a great guy. I've been talking to him for a number of years. I've been talking to him for a number of years now, and I've been wanting him to get on the show. It's just he's West Coast, I'm East Coast, and with my family and work, it just doesn't always work out like we want. So I'm happy that it's able to work out with you.
Slippery fish, but I was able to lock him down. So we are excited for that. Hopefully bring some fresh and exciting content to both channels. So I'm definitely excited to move forward.
All right, perfect. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, that notification bell for all of our upcoming shows and videos that we post. We post a good bit. You can find us on all the podcatching apps. Look for us there, all the social medias. And you know where you can find all that? just scan that QR code right there. You scan that QR code, you'll find everywhere and anywhere that Bridging the Geekdoms can be found. And don't forget, we are part of the Spoilerverse network. Great set of shows over there, spoilerverse.com. So please go check them out. With all that said, guys, I think we're good. I think we're done. So with that, we'll talk at all of you later.